Hello, hi, and welcome back to my channel with once again the only host, yours truly. So it seems like this week there has been a huge theme for not only me, but a lot of the people surrounding me in regards to like perception and how we're perceiving our situations or the situations of others. And I actually did a post earlier this week on my Instagram about the things that we can actually control. Okay, so I want to dive in a little bit to that post and the things that I said that you can control, because I think it's a good reminder. I'm probably going to say it again throughout this video. So I came up with a few things. So the first and foremost, you can really control your reactions to situations, your energy, the things that you're intaking, and the energy that you're putting out to the world. You can control your mindset when you're in a difficult situation. You can control your awareness, so that sense of being objective in your mind and really just being aware of your surroundings and everything in regards to you. You can be in control of your adaptability, so your ability to go into a situation and adapt to it is within your control. You can control your self-care routine, which again isn't just face masks. It's doing the things sometimes that you really don't want to do. And lastly, you can control your breath. For me, this is super important because this is how I maintain, oh my God, my sense of stress relief. It's how I ground myself. So all of those things, and there's so many more that I just didn't think of. But those were the main ones that I came up with. And when I posted that post, I actually talked about how you can, as a narrator of your life, you get to choose how you talk about your life, how you view your life, your mindset during any struggles that you're going through. And I also want to remind you that you're the main character of your story. So you are both the main character and the narrator. And if that doesn't make you feel like you have a lot of control, by the end of this video, it will definitely help you feel like you have control. And hopefully by you watching this whole video, you will be able to shift your perspective, or at least begin to, or open your eyes to the possibility of how much control you actually have of your life. So before we dive into perception and how you can shift it and be aware of it, I wanted to kind of kick it off with a question. I haven't really done this before, but it is a rhetorical question for the most part. And it's just basically like, how can two people go into a party or any kind of situation and experience the same exact things? They experience the same waitstaff, they experience the same conversations with their friends, and both people will leave with a different perception and perspective of how that party went. Not saying one's going to say it was good and one was going to say it's bad, but everybody's going to have their different perception of how that night went or how their experience at a restaurant went. If you really think about that, and you think about the fact that nobody's really right or wrong, essentially your perception is your truth. That is your truth, just as somebody else's perception and perspective of a situation is their truth. Neither are wrong. It's just they are what they are. Okay, so let's jump into perception and I will break it down. Your perception refers to the way sensory information is organized, interpreted, and experienced. It is essentially your conscious and subconscious interpretation of a person, a place, or a thing. I say conscious and subconscious because Our perception can be heavily affected by our values, our beliefs, our prejudices, our expectations, and our past experiences. I want to give a quick PSA, and it's honestly not a hot take if you've watched any of my other videos or if you've been on my Instagram page. As a white woman, it's super important for me to be an ally of the BIPOC and the LGBTQ plus community. And you will see a lot of examples in my videos or any of the content that I write. A lot of them are going to include stuff of like civil rights and the struggles of minorities and I guess of the oppressed as a whole. It's very important to me, so do not be surprised if you see a lot of them. And if you are surprised, like, don't even watch my videos, honestly. To give a little example of perception and how it can be inclusive of your values and beliefs and your prejudices and your experiences, your past experiences. So if you have not heard of the story with Amy Cooper and Christian Cooper, I highly, highly recommend that you go look that up. It's super informative on how Black people, and especially Black men, are deemed to be dangerous and a threat and scary and criminals. And why that is another video. But so essentially you could really dive in and say that Amy's perception of the situation, what her true experience was, and I say true because her perception was true for her, not saying that it was the reality of the situation. So within her perception, she assumed and perceived Christian to be a threat, for him to be dangerous, when in reality, Mr. Cooper is just a bird watcher and an overall gentle man. I do not know him personally, but that is a lot of the things that have been said about him. Also, I want to give a little disclaimer. I don't usually like to assume what happened in a situation, but regarding the facts, it seems as though she perceived him in a way that was untrue, and that could have to do with her past experiences. It could have to do with, why are words so hard? It could be because of her prejudices. Is what I was trying to say. So welcome to part 2 of this video. Now that you kind of have an overview on what perception is and some examples and kind of what is inclusive of your perception, now I want to give you 2 different ways. I highly suggest you do both. But 2 different ways as to how you can shift your perspective. And I'm gonna give just a heads up. One of them is fairly easy and you can get quick results. The other one is way more difficult and it can be kind of emotionally draining. And I don't want to scare you away from it. But both of them are very important. Both of them serve a purpose. So the first step in quickly shifting your perspective or your perception of the situation, you are going to brainstorm a different narrative. Essentially, you are going to switch the narrator tone of your situation. And to give you an example, so say hypothetically you are supposed to be getting on a bus and you miss said bus and you have to walk. You could easily say that, this is the worst day ever. I can't believe that I have to walk this far. This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that I overslept. This is just going to be a shitty day. I'm so annoyed right now. Right? You feel that's kind of like yucky. Or a different option could be different narration. Could be, I'm bummed that I missed the bus, but I'm excited that I get some sunlight and I get to move my body. And maybe I'll get to like see some people and talk to people. This is definitely not happening during COVID, but and you're just like happy to be in the moment. The facts of the matter are that you missed a bus and you have to walk. How you interpret and perceive that situation is 100% within your control. So in the first situation, obviously that person is a victim and they're mad and they're angry and they're building up all this like catabolic energy. And then you have the other situation where you are going to look on the brighter side. You are going to focus on the sunlight that you're going to be receiving. You're going to focus on how good it's probably going to feel for your body to get out and walk, or how you're going to see the route that you take in a different way. You're going to get to talk to people. It's going to be filled with anabolic energy. So essentially, once again, they're the same. They are going to literally line up together. The only thing that's going to be different is how you narrate the situation. So step number 2 is going to be leaning into how that alternative narration is going to feel. Lean into how it would feel in that moment if you were to shift your perspective or your perception of your situation. Lean into how it would feel to be like, oh, I'm just gonna get some vitamin D and I'm gonna move my body. Think about how you would feel in that moment. You would probably feel optimistic, light. You would probably not feel all of this nasty energy. And then you're going to turn and say like, no, I don't want to associate with that. Lean into the new way of thinking. And step number 3 is super simple, and hear me out. So you are going to ask and then act. You are going to ask yourself, which one do you want to do? Which one? And then you are going to act. You are going to actively think in that way. You are going to shift your narration or the narrative of your story. And this is applicable for everything. So that was the 3 easy ways to shift your perception. And it really dug into like switching your narrative and reminding yourself that you're not only the main character, but you're the narrator of your situation and story. The second one, I told you it's not easy. It's going to bring up a lot of emotions. But it's the work, it's the good work, it's the efficient work. So essentially, I want to remind you that your perception is heavily affected by your values, beliefs, your prejudices, your expectations, and your past experiences. So to really change your perception as a whole, you're going to have to dig in and kind of look into each one of them. Lean in and do the work. So the negative past experiences, the negative prejudice, well, any prejudice you have, the beliefs and the values that you hold that are toxic, they are essentially your soul-sucking leeches. They are going to pull a piece of your soul out all the time. And when you're able to dig in and eradicate those, and once they're gone, after you've done all the work, I promise you won't miss them. You're not going to miss your prejudices. You're not going to miss your negative beliefs, your negative values, or your negative past experiences. You're just not. And I can't do a breakdown of this, especially just because of time. There's no way that I could fit it in a small amount of time. But that's that second part of your work. So there's 2 pieces to your homework. There's a quick and efficient one, and then there's the one that's going to take time and effort and a lot of emotional work. It's turmoil. I can tell you, if you're going to choose to do that path, I commend you. It's not easy. I'm still in the process of digging into myself and assessing myself in different ways that I never have. Shout out to my therapist. But it is probably some of the most rewarding work that you will ever do on yourself. I want to say thank you for watching this video. If you've been somebody who has followed me on Instagram, I thank you there. I want to say shout out to all my friends who watch my videos and are my #1 fans, even though I only have 9 subscribers. I also want to bring up Allison, my friend. She was complaining that I have yet to give her a shout out in any of my videos. So this one's for you, Allison. That sounded so corny. But thank you, thank you, thank you. It means a lot. I'm growing, I'm learning. I feel like every time I do a YouTube video, it's enhanced in some way. I think I'm getting better at this, which I'm nervous because I feel like I might run out of bloopers at some point. I can only hope that I can ever get it together that much. And stay tuned. I'm gonna keep putting videos out on topics, and I'm excited. And I'm so thankful that you're here, if you're even still watching this mushy gushy, I don't know, stuff that I'm throwing in at the end. Okay, but yeah, so thank you. I will see you guys same time, same place next week. Different topic. So I want to give an example. A little much. I'm so embarrassed. I just found out that one of my cue cards was out in the open. Okay, so I want to jump in to what perception is. Nope, I don't like that. Okay, okay, so here's the earth, chilling. Alexa, put the lights on 100, please.
Sorry.
Alexa, put the lights on 100%.
Okay.
Okay, bye guys. I'll see you next week.